Welcome to today's stream on 2 ChatGPT features that most advisors aren't using. Thank you for being here today. Sean Bailey, Horsesmouth Editor-in-Chief and the leader of our advisor AI training programs, is not going to make it this week, so I'm going to share a clip from the webinar he gave last night on 5 secret ChatGPT settings that most advisors never use. So I'm going to share 2 of those features with you in this clip. And if you want to go ahead and watch the full webinar, I'm going to put the link to that replay in the chat, as well as a link to sign up for our AI for Advisors newsletter, and another link to learn more about our upcoming AI-powered financial advisor training program. So without further ado, let's get to the clip.
The first thing we're going to do is talk about create images. Now, when ChatGPT came out 2 years ago, you might have seen on the Facebook or other places all sorts of cartoonish characters created and that sort of stuff. And you might have also noticed huge amounts of spelling errors and stuff. And like it wasn't ready for prime time. It could do some interesting things, but from a financial advisor perspective, in terms of wanting to use it to create some simple infographics for a one-on-one client meeting or something like that, you couldn't really use it a year ago, even 9 months ago. It just didn't work very well. But OpenAI came in and has fixed that. And now the tool, Create Images, is a tool. It's very effective. Let me just go over here for a second to ChatGPT. Right, so you want to create an image, you go down there, you click on image, and then you're going to type your prompt, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that here in a second, okay? But the key point is that you can create, you don't have any software, there's no software involved or anything like that. If you know how to speak to it properly, you can very quickly get, very simple graphics that, you can help with a brochure, they can help with a PowerPoint presentation, help with your newsletter, help with a one-on-one meeting that you're having with the clients. These infographics that I've created here, you can see, one is about asset allocation and how it changes over the years. The other is Social Security claiming options. The other is the difference between wills and trusts. I think you all can see there's, there's very you can see that this can be easily used as a communication, something that helps you with your clients. So, the way to do it, like I just said, is you go over there, you click on the image, you type in your descriptive prompt, like see there, number 2, a simple flow diagram showing retirement income sources. And then ChatGPT will generate the image within minutes. And then you can refine the results, telling it, oh, I want this more minimalist. I want to make it client ready, so on and so forth. Now, how do you do that? What do you say? Well, in our training programs, we teach something, a framework called the Horse's Mouth Power Framework. It's called RTF-CQE, Role, Task, Format, Context, Question, and Examples. If you use this format or portions of this format when you're communicating with AI, you'll be very successful with it, okay? And so you invoke a role, act as a graphic designer for financial advisors. Create an infographic explaining how retirement income flows. Format, make it presented as clean and flat style. Context, right? You were targeting pre-retiree clients learning about income sequencing. Question, ask what level of details or labels are needed. We're asking the AI to ask us some questions so it can refine the image. And then you can add examples as needed, okay? And so here is a particular prompt for retirement income plan, and it more or less follows the role task format framework that I was just explaining. Okay, so you pop that in. Here it is broken out a little bit more clearly so that we can, that's the prompt. Now I'm just attaching the role, the task, the format. You can see format, flat design diagram with soft blue, gray, sage tones, clean typography, labeled arrows. By the way, how do you get some of this? Sometimes you go to the AI and say, hey, I'm trying to create a retirement income plan prompt to get a good graphic. Help me with the prompt. And then the AI will help you with the prompt. Then you'll have the prompt. then you enter the prompt, and then you start getting results. And so here is what you get. And this is what I got based on that prompt. You see Social Security, pension, annuity, investment withdrawals. That's what's flowing into your monthly retirement paycheck. But I said, this is good. Look here at my prompt here. This is my follow-up prompt. This is good, but I'd like to make it a little more colorful, make some suggestions as graphic designer, and let's not use blue. And so it came back and came back with the orange, the red, and the green. And, that was a little better, but very simple. Okay. You're not going to your graphic designer and marking it up and waiting for him to do it. You're literally just there with your fingertips making the changes. Okay. And so, what are some other visuals you could use, right? You can do tax efficient withdrawal sequence, risk reward, legacy flow diagrams, visualize the different retirement phases. I mean, it's endless the types of topics we have, the personal finance topics that exist as part of our subject matter expertise that you can create simple infographics on, okay? And so, but the key thing to remember is keep it simple, match your firm's tone and compliance. You want to keep these things minimalist, flat, line art, keep them simple. That's what you see in the Wall Street Journal, for instance, right? And then, of course, you always want to verify the numbers that come up that are displayed to make sure that they're appropriate and accurate, okay? And so this image tool can really, help you out in some ways. It's not earth-shaking, but it's a nice thing to know. And I think a lot of people don't really understand how to do that. Also, particularly if you got into ChatGPT 18 months ago, you saw that the graphics were no good. You might have just totally ignored it since then. They've gotten much better, okay? Now we move on to overlooked feature number 2, and this is one is really important. This is called personalization and customization. You have to spend some time with ChatGPT, not a lot of time at all, but maybe 10, 15 minutes customizing it so that the AI model knows about you, knows about your business, knows about your style, your tone, your approach, the way you organize things. More, sometimes knows about your personality, your writing style. This is why you should not be sharing your ChatGPT account with 5 other people on your team. You're not going to get these kind of benefits from that. And so this is a key thing, the personalization and customization, right? You're training the ChatGPT, you're training this version of the model to think like you, respond like you, to be there as your support, not just a sort of objective Google search engine, but somebody that actually understands your business and wants to help you achieve the things that you want to get done, right? And so, in essence, what you're doing here is you're giving your ChatGPT some personality, some tone, and some expertise, right? So if someone says, or if you say, oh, well, I don't like ChatGPT, it's all dreck, or it's just all kind of bland. Well, it's probably because you have not spent the time to make it act like you. And when you do, you'll get much better results. Okay. They're not going to be generic. Everything is going to be faster. You're going to get more relevant output. And you won't have to keep re-explaining yourself if you are a regular user of ChatGPT. You know that inside your prompts, it can be very effective to say certain things about who you are, what you're doing, or what your goals are. But if you enter all that into the personalization and customization, you don't ever have to repeat that again. Your AI model knows that. So you may be saying, okay, Sean, how do I do this? So let me just go toggle over here real quickly. And we're going down here. Now I'm in my personal account, clicking on personal account. Then I'm going up here to personalization. Okay. And now here we are in personalization. I see that they've changed some things already. And so I'm going to spend a couple minutes talking about what you need to do, including toggling on the button here to enable customization. Okay. If you don't do that, then you're not really getting the power from it, right? It has a personality. I choose the default personality because I'm going to give it a lot more custom instructions below. But you could also choose some other personalities as well. Then you get into this area called custom instructions. There's a lot of different things here that can go in where you're writing about, you're telling the AI about you and your business in essence, okay? And then as you scroll down more, there's an about you section. So you're going to give it tell it your name, give it information about your occupation. So I say my occupation is AI literacy and educator in the financial services sector, right? And then you can give it a little more about yourself. And I say AI education and financial services, right? Um, Memory is a whole other thing we won't get into, except to say, as I mentioned before, that if you want this thing to work and have massive benefits, you want to turn on saved memories and the ability for it to reference your chat history. That way, it is learning about you and is doing a better job as you're going forward. So that's what's going on there. And uh, we don't have time to go through all these, but if you go into that sidebar, I just showed you a number of them, and there's 6 big personalization features there. Enableize customization, ChatGPT personality, custom instructions, answer the questions, more custom instructions, scroll down, turn on the memory, and then in the advanced area, there's even more things to toggle on relating to web search, code, Canvas, and some other things. And then additionally, there's other questions. There are 5 questions that it'll ask about yourself. There's advanced custom instructions. And in essence, we can't go into all of them right now, but and my key point here is to show you, if you've never spent any time down here, you need to, because it's going to improve your results dramatically. Okay. So how does it actually improve the actual output? So what we're doing is we're basically personalizing the AI so that it writes like us, so it sounds like us. And that means it's saving us time, right? It's still, if you didn't do this and you needed to write a press release or you needed to write an invitation or a client letter, it's going to give you decent copy, but it's still not going to sound like you. And you're going to have to spend, some time editing it and modifying it. You still need to do that even after you personalize it. But when you personalize it, you're going to get outputs that are much closer to what you might want to achieve. Here is one particular strategy that you're probably not aware of, but these AI models have been trained on all sorts of personality tests. The Myers-Briggs is just one, okay? But in our training program, we go deeply into it, and we step people through a process where they get a code that basically measures their Myers-Briggs, their Colby, their DISC, their love language, and 2 more personalities. The AIs have been trained on all of these, okay? And so if you know about Myers-Briggs from the Myers-Briggs score from, Psychology 101 in college, you know about these codes, right? ENFJ or INFJ or whatever. There's all sorts of different types. If you invoke your personality type in your prompt to the AI, it's going to write differently than if you did not. And that is pretty dramatic. And so here, for instance, is an example of same prompt, but one prompt invoked the Myers-Briggs score, ENFJ, and I forget exactly what that means, but the other didn't. So on the left side, this is an email going out to clients, and it says, annual your review, your financial well-being, and it says, dear client, I hope this message finds you well as we approach the anniversary of our partnership. I'm writing to remind you of your upcoming annual review meeting scheduled for date at time. This meeting is an integral part of our ongoing commitment to your financial well-being and long-term success. All right. Without the code, you get that. It's kind of flat. It's professional. It's a little stodgy. It's okay. It's okay. It's certainly serviceable. But when you enter your code, your personality code, look at what you're getting here. The subject line's different. Your upcoming annual review. Let's chart your path forward. A little bit of enthusiasm there. And then it opens by saying, I hope this message finds you well and enjoying the summer. It's that time of the year again when we come together for your annual financial review. I'm genuinely looking forward to our meetings scheduled for date and time. Our annual review is not just a routine check-in, but it's a valuable opportunity for us to connect, reflect on your journey over the past year, and make plans for the future. Okay? And it goes on. I don't want to go through all of it, but I took the 2 outputs and I gave them to ChatGPT, and I said, okay, now analyze these 2 outputs and tell me, output 1 and output 2. What's the difference? Comes back, ChatGPT comes back. That's what you're seeing up there on the screen. Well, it says output 1, very formal and professional. The tone is very businesslike. It's objective and informative. It focuses on procedures. Output number two, friendly and engaging. The tone is warmer, more conversational and client focused. The professional motivation uses a more personal touch, aiming to create a sense of excitement and collaboration. Hey, that's what we want, right? And I'm just showing you that as an example of there are a variety of ways that you can get the AI to more closely align with you and your writing style and tone. These codes, the personality codes, are just one example of that. Okay, and so when you do that, the personalization and customization all around is just going to give you much better results. Okay.